Now we are in Colombia. On the next few photos, I show you very strange artifacts from Colombia in South America. The most famous industrial designer and architect in Colombia, Professor Jaime Gutierrez, is collecting strange artifacts from his country already since centuries. His most important piece is the so-called genetic disc. Here you can see a disc made out of lyddite, a very hard stone. It's nearly the same hardness as granite, but the structure of lyddite is like leaves, so it would be quite impossible to make the same disc in our days out of the same material. The diameter of this disc, we call it the genetic disc, is about 27 centimeters. And on this disc you have several things presented which usually you can only see with a microscope. For example, on the left side, around 11 o'clock, you can see one egg, human egg, without and another with spermia. On the right side, at approximately 1 o'clock, you can see some spermias, and then you have several very strange presentations which we could not explain. But here on the left side you have a microscopic photo from the inside of a lady done by a Swedish photographer, and you can see that the egg without and with spermia looks exactly like the presentation on this genetic disc. On the reverse side you have on top several presentations of fetus in different size, different age, ending up with looks like a little child. You see also at the end of the plate around 6 o'clock female and male, and also on the right side around 9 o'clock you can see the presentation of man, woman and child. But the strange thing is how they present those human-like heads. Here you can see a knife done by the same material, lyddite. On top of the knife, on the handle, you have mother's head. Beyond you have the child's head, and the umbilical cord is going around the neck of the child. So that means this knife would have been used to cut the umbilical cord, saving the child's life. This is a close-up mother, child and umbilical cord. This is an instrument. It might have been used for helping the child coming out, leaving the mother, when there were some complications. And it is also made out of the same material, lyddite. You have here the vagina and the child's head coming out. And on the reverse side, you can put only your thumb inside. That means you can only use this instrument with your fingers, meaning you cannot use power. So that means it might be safer helping the child leaving the mother than our instruments we are using in our days, because sometimes the modern instruments, while being used, can damage the child's head. This, we think, is a medical instrument. It is also lyddite, and it's a perfect form. Another one, and these are other ones, they are very much smaller than shown on this photo. And when we did material check in Vienna, the most expert worldwide checked those pieces. First of all, the material. Each one is done with lyddite, and the form itself. He checked them, and finally he said, I cannot tell you how they were done, who did they make, but the only thing I can definitely tell you from the same material in nowadays, we cannot make the same instruments. So how old they are, we do not know, but as they were found in Colombia and they do not fit any existing pre-Columbian culture, we must consider that those artifacts are at least older than 6,000 years. But we cannot explain what kind of technology they did use to be able to make such instruments and such tools made with lyddite. You can see each piece fits exactly every kind of hand, never mind how big the size of the hand was. Each instrument, each tool fits exactly each hand which was using those instruments. This face looks a little bit like the Maui, the big stone statues from Easter Island. Here you have a close-up. This, in joking, I call it the dentist chair. Perfectly done, but again, same material, lyddite. And the strange question is, why, if they could make such perfect figurines out of this very difficult material, why did they show the human face always with big round eyes and a little nose and a big mouth? There is no real explanation possible. This is again one piece from Colombia, lyddite. On the front side you see the mother holding the baby, and on the back side you see the man with armors, most probably for hunting. This stone figurine was found in Colombia. It looks exactly like the Maui statues from Easter Island, but it is only about 30 centimeters in size. This is another masterpiece of stonework. You have on both sides presented one bird, but if you look at the front side, you can see that the two birds presenting a face, and on the left side, between the bird's head and the wings, you see again this unknown writing which we found on stones from all over the world. This is the mother holding a child, very strange face, and it's a kind of jade material. This is another stone from Colombia, showing an armadillo. On top of the armadillo you can see a strange face with long ear and two horns on top. On this artifact you can see a smiling face on top. You have two triangles on this side, and on the other side, on the right side, you have a face. Again, the animal face on the right side, and some unknown symbols, and on the bottom of this object you see an animal, looks like a crocodile.